6 feet. 6 feet from you. And this is the measurement that we've heard for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Stay 6 feet apart. 6 feet has come between us and our normal everyday activities and our friendships, our relationships. But this isn't the first time that things have hindered us doing what we want to do, or maybe engaging in conversations that we should have. This is not the first time that something has hindered us from doing those things. And so we're in John chapter 5 today, the 21-day reading challenge. And we're getting to see an example of something that is hindering a crippled man here and hindering some Jewish leaders. And so I want to jump into that real quick and challenge you guys here today. In John chapter 5, we read where there's a crippled man that's beside a pool. It's a pool that's called Bethesda, and it is believed that there was an angel that would come down during a certain time of the day and would stir those waters. And when those waters were being stirred, they were believed to be healing waters. And so people that were crippled or had issues otherwise would go and they would dip into that pool, and they believed that it would heal them. And so this crippled man, it says that he was there for 38 years by that pool. And he didn't have a way to get in. I guess he couldn't move in, and no one else had the heart to help him at any point. And so here comes Jesus. And Jesus, speaks to the man, and of course the man tells him what his situation is, and Jesus says, well, do you want to be healed? And of course the man said yes, and Jesus said, well, get up, take your mat and go. And so that's exactly what happens. He gets up, he takes his mat, and he goes. And man, what an awesome time to celebrate, right? You would think that would be an exciting time to engage in, praising God for his healing power and his authority over this man who's been crippled and taking that away from him. And yet, there were some Jewish leaders who didn't agree. And so here you have this crippled man who the hindrance in his life was that he couldn't get to the pool. And now you have these Jewish men that step in and they say, Jesus, why would you cause this man to sin? Who are you to cause this man to sin on the Sabbath day? And so here we go, the Jewish leaders who are very legalistic in their beliefs of Scripture, that they're trying to check off the boxes of all the things that they did. And regardless of what else is happening in their life, they're just going to stay rigid to the exact thing that Scripture says, and they're doing it for recognition. They're not even doing it for their love of God. And so Jesus just kind of, I'm sure, is not surprised by what they're doing, but these Jewish men are saying, hey, you're making him carry his mat. You're making him work on the Sabbath. And so he's dishonoring the Sabbath day. And so these men, here they are, they're being hindered by their view of Scripture, by their legalistic spin that they're putting on what you should do. And so they're hindered by that view, and it's keeping them from doing ministry. I mean, can you imagine having the opportunity to pray with someone who is hurting, to just sit and have a conversation with someone that just needs to vent, to maybe go help somebody fix their car, or maybe help somebody put a spare tire on their car on the side of the road, or take somebody some food. If we had that view and, people were in need on the Sabbath, can you imagine looking at them and saying, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I have to rest today. I can't help you. I can't minister to you on that day. And so, man, what a hindrance was happening from these Jewish leaders, and how sad it was that this man wanted to get into the pool at Bethesda, and he couldn't. But man, in comes Jesus and changes that, right? In the New Testament, we are told to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And there's never a switch where we're supposed to turn that off. There's never a time where we're supposed to not minister to people. Maybe there are times where we need to call someone else and allow them to go minister because we've been ministering a lot and we need to spend time with our family and not neglect them. But man, imagine if we walked around and we let all these excuses stop us from doing ministry. And I'm going to guess that you're like me, and there are some other excuses too that keep you from doing ministry, that keep you from ministering to people and loving on people and creating community and praying for other people. And I'm going to guess some of those things are worrying what someone will think about you. Maybe you're afraid that you're going to come on too strong about this whole Jesus thing. Maybe you're afraid you're going to scare somebody away and they won't be friends with you. Or maybe, if you speak up and you ask if you can pray with someone, or ask someone if they need a hug, that'll put you in a place where you're not getting to be in and around the group of people that you want to. Maybe you'll be looked at different. Maybe that's just not your thing to pray with people, or maybe it's just not your thing to to go and help someone or minister to someone in a certain way. Maybe you're just embarrassed. I don't know what it is. Who knows? There's so many things that can hinder us from ministering to others. And right now, with 6 feet in between you and I can still minister to you, and I intend to keep doing that. We as a staff here at Living Water intend to keep ministering to you this way. We can pray for you, we can teach you, we can encourage you, we can love on you through these videos, but we can text you, we can call you, we can send you an email, we can reach out to you through Facebook, and man, I expect you guys to do the same things. I want to challenge you to take those hindrances out of your life. Whether it's a thought that is just consuming you, that you're afraid somebody's going to feel a certain way or not, I'm going to ask you, beg you to just trust Jesus with the outcome. Because if you're trying to do ministry and your heart's right and you're trying to reach out to people and connect them and love on them through this time, 6 feet apart, God's going to honor that. God is going to honor you doing what you can to minister to people during this time. So that's my challenge to you. Define what it is. Figure out what it is that hinders you from loving people well, from creating community, and from reaching out to people in whatever way. Man, you guys can, right now, we can go park beside each other in a parking lot and have a meal in our own cars and talk. Right now, we can sit on a porch, at least 6 feet from each other and have conversation and keep things going, as long as it's less than 50 people. We encourage it to be less than 10. And so we know that some of this may progress and we may not have those abilities, but we still have our phones. We still have our ability to text and message people. So I would encourage you to figure out what that hindrance is in your life. And man, just let Jesus come in and take it out so that you can continue to be in community. You can continue to minister to people, and people will continue to minister to you. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you soon.